Hey folks, Gary here, doing a daily Bible reading for Thursday. Now, I'm sure you guys can relate to this. There are times in our lives when things just don't go very well, right? When things go really great, but sometimes they don't go so great. And for our daily Bible reading, we've been reading through Psalm 63, and this is David, and he's in the desert hiding from Saul. He's reflecting on how really good God is, and he's telling us about how much he loves God and how great God is. But obviously his life is not going in the direction he thought it would go, and there are some hard things taking place. So what do you do when there's hard times? Well, let's see what David says in verses 6, 7, and 8 of Psalm 63. He says this: I think about you before I go to sleep. So there's that first part. I think about you before I go to sleep. Is bedtime prayers, right? That kind of thing. I mean, you should be praying to God all the time, but we usually do that before we go to sleep as well, right? We just kind of run through the day and say, wow, that was really cool, or that wasn't so cool. And we ask God to deal with those things, or we praise him about those things. We pray for our relatives and that kind of stuff. We want God's blessing in their lives. We do all that kind of stuff before we go to bed. We kind of sort things out sometimes. And like I said, you should probably be doing that all the time, but we definitely do it before we go to bed. So I think about you before I go to sleep, and my thoughts turn to you during the night. Now, I don't think David is saying that during the night I wake up and go, wow, you're so good, I want to praise you some more. I don't think David's thinking that. I think what David is saying is during the night I get woken up because of all my worries. Where's Saul? Is he going to get me now? Like that kind of stuff. I'm concerned about my men, all that stuff. And he's being kept up at night. How many of you have ever been kept up at night because of concerns? Well, David is, and he says this: and my thoughts turn to you during the night. In other words, he seeks out God. These things are hard, they're unbearable. So I go to the one that I know that can solve it. I think about you, God. You have helped me, and I sing happy songs in the shadow of your wings. I stay close to you, and your powerful arm supports me. In other words, he says, I know who can solve these things. God can. Right? God can. He's so much more able to. Matter of fact, he's able to do anything. And so I look at the situation in my life and the struggles I have, and I remember all the things that you have done for me, God, because you've done so many of them. I can speak that to my own life, where God had stepped in and intervened and did miraculous things that I couldn't possibly do. I remember those times. And I go, if you could do that then, I know you'll do it now, because you love me and you care for me. And no matter how hard things get, I'll cling to your strong arm, because I know you will get me through it, and that you've got a plan for it. So I can trust him because I've trusted him in the past, and I've seen what he's done in the past. He's the same God today as he was then. So if things get hard, go to the one that you know that can solve it, and trust that he'll get you through it.